Finals, during the third quarter, Paul Pierce appears to land awkwardly on his right leg, as he laid there on the ground for several minutes in serious pain. Eventually, he needed assistance to leave the court. His teammates carried him for some of the distance, then placed him in a wheelchair to make his way back to the locker room. The entire building feared that they might have seen the end of Paul Pierce for the remainder of the series, until miraculously, less than just 2 minutes of game time later, he made his way back onto the court, kinda similar to that inspiring Willis Reed moment.
This is the sight that the Celtic fans want to see. And hear the ovation as he comes popping out of the tunnel. Pierce ready to check back into the game as we check in with Michelle.
Well, standing back there at the locker room when Paul Pierce came out was a pretty dramatic moment.
And ultimately, his heroic efforts helped seal the victory in Game 1. His original explanation to what happened was that he thought he heard a loud pop in his leg and thought it could have possibly been an ACL tear. But just looking at the way he strangely skipped back onto the court made many begin to speculate on what really went on. And they came up with the conclusion that he must have pooped his pants.
I pooped my pants.
And had to quickly come up with a plan to leave the game, so he pretended to suffer an injury, and made sure to be carried off the court in such a way so nobody can see his butt. Now this theory did make sense at the time, but for the most part, it was only seen as an ongoing internet joke, until many years later, during the broadcast of Game 3 of the 2019 NBA Finals, Pierce had a little confession. The date was June 5th, which was the anniversary of the wheelchair game, and out of nowhere, for no apparent reason, he admitted what some already assumed.
I have a confession to make.
Whoa.
I just had to go to the bathroom.
Number one or
I had to go to the bathroom.
But why did you need a wheelchair to get to the bathroom?
It was that bad.
Something went down. I had to go to the bathroom.
Michelle Beadle.
You were streaking?
Okay, anywho, injuries.
Enough said,
Injuries
enough
are the
said.
story.
Shockingly, Pierce confirmed the poop theory. He thought the reaction from fans would be mostly positive and fun, but he basically ruined what was thought to be a legendary moment, and attempted to backtrack what he said a few hours later by tweeting this. But by then it was too late, and now his nickname looks kinda ironic. Here we have another legendary moment that was unfortunately tarnished. Well, kinda. For the past decade or so, this moment has been regarded as one of the most savage things to ever take place on the court. Matt Barnes attempting to make Kobe Bryant flinch by quickly faking a pass right in Kobe's face. And the way Kobe just stood there with no emotion at all was truly impressive. But as time went on, some other angles suggest that maybe it wasn't as savage as we initially thought. This angle appears to show that Kobe wasn't exactly standing in front of him like the original angle provides. And for a moment there, this new discovery ruined it for many people, leaving them disappointed. But of course, Matt Barnes had to step in and swear that it's still legit.
Glad you brought up Kobe because I need to get to the bottom of something. So for years and years, we all thought that you put that ball in Kobe's face and he didn't flinch a bit. And then about a year ago, we got some alternate angles, some new information came to light. It looks from the other angle like it's not like the ball was right in his face. You kind of pump faked it to the side and he didn't move his head. What is your recollection?
The ball's right in his face.
Yeah? You put
Right.
that in his face on purpose?
Yeah.
He would go on to say that he didn't realize how close the ball got to Kobe's face until watching the replay after the game. And here's Kobe talking about it in 2015. Quote, "It was a split second and I processed it pretty quickly. I realized he wasn't going to do it." Now, even if this new angle shows that Kobe was a little bit to the left of the ball, it was Kobe who was swaying side to side like that, and it doesn't take away the fact that Barnes still tried to make him flinch, and many people came to the defense of Bryant.
We pulled the video from both angles, and you can see Kobe sways back and is right in front of Matt Barnes and that basketball. So, whew. I don't have to rebuild everything, I think. I was very pleased that Kobe, the moment is preserved.
The year was 1990. The LA Lakers were gearing up to take on the Houston Rockets, but James Worthy had other plans. He decided to hit up a couple prostitutes so he can have a little fun before the game. But to his surprise, they turned out to be undercover cops.
Oh God! It's the police! Freeze!
Worthy was thrown in jail that very same afternoon, but would eventually be released on bail around the same time his Lakers were about to tip off against the Rockets. He managed to arrive to the building and enter the game in the second quarter, as the fans cheered as he showed up, not knowing about the encounter he just had with the police. And when it was all said and done, Worthy put up 24 points to lead the Lakers to an overtime win. In the 2001 NBA season, Allen Iverson was playing his best basketball. He was working extremely hard in order to make his team a real contender. And by the time the All-Star weekend came along, he certainly deserved to kick back and relax for a second. And by that I mean party like nobody's business. Apparently, Iverson had a group of his friends meet up with him in DC, where that All-Star weekend took place. And he ended up partying for 72 hours straight and got absolutely no sleep the entire time.
The party won't stop. It's been 2 straight days and the party's still going.
He was spotted in the club, just living his life without a care in the world. But eventually, he realized he did have a job to do and somehow made it to the main event on Sunday, despite feeling like crap. But remember, this was the MVP that year, and he definitely played like it. Throughout the game, it was clear that the East had no answer for the West. And as you can see, they were up big going into the fourth quarter. But by then, AI's hangover was long gone, and incredibly put the team on his back to complete an amazing comeback, scoring 15 points in the final 9 minutes, and ended the night with a total of 25 points, earning him the game's MVP trophy. This will go down as not only one of the best individual All-Star performances, but also hands down one of the most highly entertaining All-Star games to ever take place. Throughout Charles Barkley's time in the NBA, it's not that hard to dig up some of his negative moments. He's kind of an easy target if you ever get into a back and forth feud with him, like when LeBron wasn't too happy about some of Charles Barkley's criticism towards the Cavaliers, and LeBron had plenty of ammo to fire back. I'm not going to let him disrespect my legacy like that. I'm not the one who threw somebody through a window. I'm not the one who spit on a kid. All I've done for my entire career is represent the NBA the right way. I would talk about Chuck spitting on that kid, but that doesn't scream urban legend, because there is actual video proof that it definitely happened. So let's talk about that other particular incident where all we have are reports to go on. It was said that Barkley was at a bar in Orlando in the year 1997, and allegedly someone threw a drink all over him. And what happened next is pretty shocking. Charles got up from his seat, proceeded to grab the man, and then throw the man out of a glass window, shattering everywhere. At the trial, Charles apparently didn't really have any remorse for what he did, and said this when the judge asked him if he had any regrets. "Yeah, I regret we were on the first floor." It's no secret that things between Vince Carter and the Toronto Raptors did not end very well, and just before he was shipped to the New Jersey Nets, something happened that would ultimately be the final nail in the coffin. Toronto was visiting Portland, getting ready to take on the Trailblazers, but Carter wasn't quite feeling 100%, so he decided that he wasn't going to participate in this game, and that decision quickly made its way to head coach Sam Mitchell, who already was very annoyed that Vince always seemed to be injured. So Mitchell approached Carter in the locker room, and according to Jalen Rose, who apparently witnessed the entire thing, claims that it quickly got heated between Carter and Mitchell, leading to a very intense argument and eventually a pretty serious altercation. It was said that Vince got so angry that he actually picked up Coach Sam Mitchell on his shoulders and literally body slammed him to the ground, similar to the way John Cena does it. And of course, the team gathered around their head coach to see if he was alright. Now, as expected, Mitchell vehemently denies that such thing ever occurred, but whether it did or not, it's definitely a crazy urban legend. So there you have it, guys, multiple NBA stories that have a level of mystery. Before you go, feel free to let me know if I forgot to mention any other crazy urban legend. Make sure to comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe.